What's up, guys? It's Jay, MorninAfterKill, and I'm back here with some more Borderlands pre-sequel news, information, and motherfucking speculation. And today, I'm here with my good friend Cathalia. What's going on, Goth?
What's going on, Jay?
Nothing much. We have a lot of pre-sequel news gonna be hitting within the next month, especially with E3 happening. But yesterday, IGN had an exclusive to show off Wilhelm's action skill in a very short, minute-long video.
Yeah, but it also, I feel like it dropped some pretty key info about the game in general and about corrosive and other damage modifiers.
Exactly. I mentioned this in my video really quick when I touched over. One of Wilhelm's skills is called Cold War, and inside this, it lists when you do damage over time with shock, fire, or incendiary. It also has a chance to make the enemy take freeze damage, and the fact that they're not listing Slag or Corrosive on this card leads me to believe that we're going to be seeing some type of a different damage modifier inside of this game. What do you think about that, guy?
Well, I think that in Borderlands 1, corrosive damage also increased damage from other weapon types, and that was removed in Borderlands 2. And since Slag doesn't exist yet in Borderlands the pre-sequel, as Iridium hasn't been weaponized by Hyperion, I think they might be doubling back and adding back in that damage modifier to corrosive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, actually, I do know what you mean, because, you know, inside Borderlands 1, one of the biggest reasons why somebody carried a Defiler or a Hornet was the fact that you could stack the damage over time corrosive on top of it, and it would augment your damage with other elements, and you could put down enemies really, really fast. But corrosive was also still useful against fleshy enemies, because, no offense, Goth, if I walk up to you and I throw acid on your skin, you're not gonna be like, ha ha! That hurts 10% less than fire does.
Yeah, bro, you should have just set me on fire. What is this shit?
Yeah, what are you
garbage.
Throwing acid on me for? But we've already seen from some of this gameplay, mind you, it is pre-alpha gameplay, and everything is subject to change, especially the look of the weapons, because we do know that when Borderlands 2 was being made, they were using Borderlands 1 style weapons in the pre-alpha that they were showing prior to Borderlands 2 coming out. So everything is subject to change, but we saw from freeze weapons that there was a critical hit damage modifier, 3 times to be exact, right?
Yeah, which is pretty interesting, because if they end up having 2 damage modifiers, it's you know, it's a matter of, will these 2 damage modifiers stack on top of each other? Are we going to see, you know, an increase from corrosive, and then that's also going to augment the freeze modifier? And yeah, I mean, that opened up a lot of stuff for team play as well. You could have a freezer and a corroder and then killers, and I like that. That seems like they would bring in a lot more team play necessity, which I like.
And you can also use Wilhelm's skill if somebody is corroded on your team to get that freeze effect while you're using an incendiary weapon against a fleshy enemy. And now not only do you have the corrosive base damage stacking on top of the freeze critical hit damage, but you're also gaining the bonus for using fire against the fleshy enemy. So it looks like that they're trying to balance the game without actually changing the math, but giving us more skills and more, I guess, options for freedom of how to get these damage multipliers against the enemies without really making it tedious like Slag was, where you had to shoot an enemy, switch a weapon, change to a different weapon, pull out a different element, and most of the time, corrosive was useless in like 20% of the game. Like, I mean, it was only useful in 20% of the game. The rest of the game was like, what? Why am I gonna have acid? Everything resists it.
Exactly. Like, I feel like Slag was a major step in the wrong direction, because corrosive basically did a similar thing with its damage modifying in Borderlands 1, but corrosive was still useful, and the damage over time, or dot, from corrosive in Borderlands 1 was still really good. And they basically took corrode and just shot it in the kneecap and said good luck in Borderlands 2, and just gave you a clunky, not so fun, we'll keep saying this, tedious mechanic.
It was a crutch.
Yeah, it was kind of a crutch.
Slag was a crutch inside of Borderlands 2. It's like saying, you know what? We don't really know what to do with this element. I understand what they were trying to do, and I really don't think we're going to see Slag in any more Borderlands after Borderlands 2, especially since, you know, Handsome Jack's story is Borderlands 2. That's him, you know, going against Pandora, and at the end, spoiler alert, he fucking dies, alright? If you haven't played Borderlands 2 by now, and you're listening to this fucking video, and you're like, spoilers, game came out 2 years ago, motherfucker.
There's got to be a statute of limitations on spoilers, right? You know?
Spoiler, Hurley doesn't actually hurt you.
No, I don't know why Hurley got a fucking health bar.
He needs to be inside of Borderlands pre-sequel and just be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like Hurley, like 0.1.0. It's like a fucking real pre-alpha version of Hurley. But we're getting off topic here. Slag was a major crutch inside of Borderlands 2, and since, you know, Jack was dirtying up Pandora, you saw what happened in Aaron Nexus Badlands Firestone.
Exactly.
It was disgusting.
Yeah, it was gross.
That was a real hard-hitting point of the game. If you played Borderlands 1, you hit there, and you realize what Jack has done to Pandora through the slag mining, the iridium mining, and I think that since it didn't really work out in the Borderlands franchise, I don't even think, even if Borderlands 3 happens after Borderlands 2, I'm pretty sure you're going to see that Pandora or the other areas that we've gone to haven't been really fucked over by Slag.
No, for those of you who don't really know the storyline or didn't pay attention to it, basically when you open up the Vault of the Destroyer of Worlds in Borderlands 1, that's what unleashes Iridium around Pandora. And then through, like, I think it was like a purification process.
It's a refinery.
The refining process. They weaponized Iridium into Slag. Slag was a byproduct of that refining process. So it did not exist in Borderlands 1 and probably won't exist past the whole situation with the Vault of the Warrior, the Vault of the Warrior and Jack dying.
Exactly, and that's also where Nisha comes in as Jack's girlfriend. She oversees the mining of Slag in Lynchwood. That's what that whole conveyor belt system is, and all those mines. She's actually overseeing the process of Slag, so that's kind of where she comes in. And with Jack and Nisha both not around, Hyperion, supposedly we don't know exactly how this is going to play out in Borderlands 3, but supposedly we've beaten Hyperion the same way that I'm pretty sure it was Atlas in Borderlands 1.
Yeah, Atlas.
You don't see Atlas in Borderlands 2 at all.
Yeah, you also don't see SNS, and there's no explanation for that, and that's another video.
I'm hoping there might be an explanation for that on the moon base, actually.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
Because there's bandits there.
Bandit shares a lot of similar qualities with SNS with large magazines, but I hope we get some sort of explanation as to what happened to that corporation.
Exactly, but what we're trying to convey here, basically, is that Corrosive looks like it's going to actually have a base damage modifier, and Freeze is going to have the critical hit damage modifier, and if you want to get the full effects of what Slag would have been in Borderlands 2, then you're going to have to combine both of them on top of each other to get a really awesome, powerful combo, which seems like it would probably be like somewhere between, like, you know, I guess Money Shot area with damage, really.
Yeah, it's going to be great, but at the same time, each individual part won't be useless on its own, we're hoping. So, I mean, Freeze is already excellent because it's a major crowd control element.
And it also slows the enemy.
And it slows the enemy, yeah. And then hopefully corrosive damage. I hope that dots get worked over just a little bit in the pre-sequel. Because I know that's something that Gearbox was looking into. Was damage over time being very lacking in Borderlands 2.
Like, if you look at some weapons in Borderlands 1 that came back in Borderlands 2, specifically Hellfire, alright? Night and day difference. Hellfire in Borderlands 1 is the go-to gun. You don't have a Hellfire, you're not Borderlands 1-ing. You gotta have the Hellfire in your backpack, and it can't have a thumper bearer on it. God fucking damn it! Don't have a thumper bearer on it! That's for some of them motherfuckers I see out there streaming. They're like, I got a Hellfire! But like, you got hell slow, motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
But inside Borderlands 2, the Hellfire isn't really as effective because in Borderlands 1, the damage over time was allowed to stack on top of each other from the same weapon. Right?
Yeah.
That's how Hellfire worked. It kind of stacked on top of each other, and in Borderlands 2, it just kind of kept reapplying the damage over time instead of stacking on top.
There is that, and dot damage didn't really scale that well beyond Troop Vol Hunter mode. And I don't think we're going to see UVHM return, and if it does, it'll be severely modified from what it is in Borderlands 2.
Yeah, I feel like inside of Borderlands 2, UVHM was kind of a band-aid on top. I don't really think they had any plans on going higher than level 50 inside Borderlands 2, but people were clamoring for, we want a level cap upgrades, we want more skills, we want this, we want that, and they kind of just stuck UVHM on the outside of the cover and was like, this is what we got for you, because, like, if they scaled True Vault Hunter mode, I was told that it would actually be worse than Ultimate Vault Hunter mode in terms of difficulty.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I was told, is that the difficulty if True Vault Hunter mode scaled to level 72 would have been worse because the weapons wouldn't have had an upgrade or some shit. I have no idea exactly how they explained it, but it was told that if you scaled True Vault Hunter mode up to level 72, it would be even more of a broken mess than Ultimate Vault Hunter mode currently is. Which is,
I'm not so sure about that. I'm not
sure about that either, but that's how I was explained to it, and I feel like that was just kind of a, yeah, you know, it's kind of a backdoor excuse to just kind of drop it, you know?
Yeah. Well, we could talk about whether or not they should bring back UVHM in probably another commentary. We could probably go on and on about that and the pluses and mostly minuses of that, to be honest with you.
That's true, but as of right now, I don't think that we're going to see a UVHM return. Honestly, just because it didn't seem like it was very successful in some Borderlands 2.
No.
Especially since Ultimate Vault Hunter mode relied on Slag as a crutch. And if they're removing Slag and giving it a different type of gameplay mechanic, then I'm pretty sure that if there is level cap upgrade inside of the pre-sequel, that it will probably be within True Vault Hunter mode. But we're getting the cart before the motherfucking horse, because the game ain't even fucking out yet. We're already talking about DLC.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely coming. But we were talking about corrode damage and it having a modifier. How do you guys feel about that? You know, I'm always interested to see how the community feels. Do you guys remember the damage modifier if you were Borderlands 1 players? What you like? I'm excited to have more intricate group setups with more debuffs and all that. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, because then you can set up one character inside the group to constantly be corroding and still not losing effectiveness against flesh because, like I said, acid does not hurt 10% less than fire on your fucking skin.
No, it doesn't. No.
It would probably hurt worse. Do not test that out at home.
Do not.
None of you. Do not put acid or fire on your skin. I feel like we shouldn't even have to say that.
We shouldn't, but we do.
We have to. We kind of have to say that.
Yeah, we kind of have to say it at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think it's actually pretty cool the way that they're setting this up, and I can't wait to have a Wilhelm dedicated to just freezing everything.
Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be a lot of fun.
That's what I want. I want to play as all the characters, honestly. There's not a character that I'm looking at in this game that I don't want to play as, and that's another fucking commentary.
It is.
We should have probably ended this out like 5 minutes ago before we started talking about True Vault Hunter mode.
Whatever.
But you know what?
What's that?
The people that are watching right now, you guys are our true fans, our supporters, because you sat around and you're like, this is what I like. This is the kind of repertoire. Why are we even talking about this?
I don't know.
So, my name is Jay. MorninAfterKill. Make sure you guys rate, comment, subscribe. I want to thank you guys for watching. I also want to thank Italian for coming by to check out this video, make a dual comment, have a little bit of fun, because if you leave a thumbs up on the video, I'd highly appreciate it, because it gives me motivation to make more videos for you motherfuckers that watch me and Italian's motherfucking videos. Corrosive, freeze, we got some damage modifiers, some damage buffs going on. What do you guys think about this? Comments, description down below. Leave your piece, your 2 motherfucking sense. Got anything else, guys?
Nah, I think that about covers it.
Should we beatbox now? No, just...
Nah, but we're gonna see you guys
later.
Later.
Yeah, I did it first.
Ah.